Hello, and welcome to Rethinking Our History, where we seek to shed a light on events that have been forgotten and covered up, and to make us all question how much do we really know about our history? I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian, and we are here to reveal all the sordid details of history that have been swept under the rug. Get ready to get angry, be curious, and maybe have a laugh or two as we rethink our history.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us for another lesson, number 51. Hope you guys all had a good holiday, lots of turkey or ham,
A holiday.
football. Well, this was supposed to be recorded after Thanksgiving, so like
Right.
2 weeks ago.
This is true.
So, yeah, that's what it says in my notes.
Yeah. That's like mine was like an indigenous month thing.
I know.
It's
Whoops.
like a month late. So
Sorry, it's
oh
been a
well.
struggle, guys. Y'all know I lost my brother this summer. My mom's death anniversary is December 12th. It's just been a hard couple of weeks.
Been a shitty year.
It's been a shitty year, and I'm extremely exhausted from not getting enough sleep, from just running around doing shit all the time, and
Lost a lot of weight though.
I've lost a lot of weight. I'm down to 248, 49 pounds from my highest weight. So almost 50 pounds from where I was when Patty was one.
Right.
I saw that number getting close to 300 and I was like, bitch,
Right.
not me, Satan, not me. All right. So this week is, our topic this week is kind of personal to me. One of the volunteers that I work with and who has made her way into my heart is from the small southern European country of Bosnia. Admittedly, I did not know a lot about Bosnia before I started working with my beautiful friend, and really don't still know a lot. But she talks quite a lot about the quote unquote war, how life was before, after, and what it was like living there. We've never really got into many heavy conversations until a few weeks ago when I saw an article about sniper safaris and how the Italian government is investigating them. I mentioned this article to her, and she told me about her experience being targeted by one of these snipers. It was then that I realized that I really needed to do some research about this war and to try and understand her a little bit better. So here we go.
Wee.
No, no.
No.
Bosnia has been inhabited by humans or some version of us since the Old Stone Age or the Paleolithic era. They were invaded first by the Celts, then the Romans. Then it went from them to the Ostrogoths, then the Alans, then the Huns, until the Romans came back with the Byzantine Empire before the Slavics invaded.
Damn.
It is believed the name was first mentioned by Byzantine Emperor Constantine Porphyrogentius in the mid 10th century. By the 12th century, they had fallen outside of the rule of any other kingdom and had their own rulers, and we get the Kingdom of Bosnia. However, it would fall in 1463 after they were subjugated by the Ottoman Empire. Yeah, lots of this. Like the
That's
first,
crazy.
I think the first 4 pages is just the history of Bosnia. So y'all bear with me. There's this whole thing with Austria and Hungary before Yugoslavia was created in 1918. There would be much internal struggle with Yugoslavia until they were invaded by Hitler on April 6, 1941. Roughly 16% of the population of Bosnia would be killed by Hitler and his forces. After the war,
Wow.
yeah, 16% of the population, which
It's a lot
admittedly,
of people.
this is not a heavily populated country as it is.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh no, I'm seeing a big city in these
Oh,
pictures.
they have big cities. So as of 2025, there's a little over 3 million people that live in the whole country.
Wow.
We have 3 billion in this country.
Right.
It's a small country.
Yeah.
Um, After the war, Bosnia was made into one of 6 constituent republics in the new Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia by the Constitution of 1946. Due to its geographical position within the republic, Bosnia was chosen as a base for the military defense industry. This would bring an influx of weapon and military personnel to the area, which in roughly 50 years was going to be a problem. But for the citizens of this country, this was a pretty good time in their history. Most adults were employed, they had great education, and their citizens were cared for. Huh, huh, huh. Universal health care, anybody?
Wow.
Volkswagen, Coca Cola, Marlboro, and even Holiday Inn
It's the Holiday Inn.
opened up businesses in this country during this time. Hell, in 1984, Sarajevo was the host of the Winter Olympics.
I remember that.
Wow. You got some good memory for a 3-year-old. Now, there are three main ethnic groups in Bosnia with 17 smaller ones sprinkled in. You have the Bosniaks, Serbs, and Croats, which Croatian people, taking the largest chunk of the population, with some Jewish people, Turkish Romani, and other smallish ethnic groups as well. In late night, in late November of 1990, parliamentary elections were held that changed the National Assembly from a communist power to an ethnically based coalition. Then Croatia and Slovenia declared independence, which caused a split within Bosnia over whether they should also seek independence or stay a part of Yugoslavia. Members of the Serb Democratic Party then left the central parliament in Sarajevo and created the Assembly of the Serb People of Bosnia and Herzegovina in October of 1991, effectively ending the three ethnic coalition that had been governing since 1990. They then established the Serbian Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina within the borders of Bosnia on January 9th, 1992. In August of the same year, it was renamed Republic Spurska. How am I supposed to say SRPSKA? There needs to be one more vowel in that word. Sorry, it doesn't. That's a very asshole American thing of me to say. It doesn't, but sorry. I'm not used to so many consonants.
Yeah.
On November 18th, 1991, the party branch of the ruling party in the Republic of Croatia, the Croatian Democratic Union, declared the existence of the Croatian community of Herzeg Bosnia in a different area of Bosnia and proclaimed the Croatian Defense Council as its military branch. The government of Bosnia and Herzegovina would not recognize this and even declared it illegal. On October 15th, 1991, a declaration of sovereignty of Bosnia and Herzegovina was declared, followed by a referendum for independence on February 29th. And March 1st of 1992, which was strongly opposed by the Serbian population. But 63.4% of the population turned out for the referendum, and 99.7% of voters voted for independence.
Hmm.
Bosnia and Herzegovina declared independence on March 3rd, 1992, and received international recognition on April 6, 1992. They were admitted as a member state of the United Nations on May 22nd, 1992.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 6, and my dear sweet friend was 10.
It's the same time as the Rodney King stuff.
Same year.
California.
Yep. Same year. It was what Rodney got beat in March.
April 21st.
April 26, 1992 was the day the LA riots started.
Riots,
That's not
yeah.
when Rodney got beat, though. I think he
Right.
was beat in
In
like
March.
March.
Yeah.
And then they were acquitted on April 1990, April 29th, excuse me.
Right.
The song is April 29th.
So you had that going on in America, and then this going
It
on
was
in
a fucking
Bosnia.
shit show all over the globe. It always has been. We just been kind of ignorant to it because we were kids,
Right.
you know?
Sure.
Which is why, like, I don't watch a ton of news with Patty, but I will let her watch it and see what's going on in the world because there's children having to live through this.
Yeah.
Our child can learn about it, and so can yours.
Yeah.
Following this declaration, Serbian Bosnian militias began to mobilize across the country, a move the newly established government was not prepared for. International recognition of the new country put pressure on the Yugoslav People's Army, or the JNA, to withdraw from their borders, which they did in June of 1992. There's a lot of letters in this. Good luck trying to keep them all. There's like the JNA, the VRS is coming. There's like an ARBIH one coming. It's a whole lot of letters. Good luck keeping them straight. Who the fuck is who? Because I can't even get them keep them straight. I'm the one that wrote the notes.
Yeah.
However, the Serbian members of the JNA did not leave. Instead, they changed their insignia and formed the Army of Republic Srpska, or VRS. They were equipped with weapons and armor from JNA stockpiles across the country. They had support from volunteers and paramilitary forces from Serbia and were receiving logistical and financial support from the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. With all this at their disposal, the Republika Srpska was able to place much of the country under its control. They were able to do this in large part to ethnic cleansing. And this gets kind of hard for me to get through because I can't help but think of my friend living through this. But if she survived it, we can talk about it.
Right.
It really began in April of 1992 when the Battle of Kupres took place between JNA and combined HVHVO forces, which were Croatian military forces. On April 6, Serbs began shelling Sarajevo and crossed the border to attack Zornik, Vizgard, and Foka. They captured Zornik and slaughtered hundreds of Bosnians while forcing tens of thousands to flee from the city. By the end of the month, the whole country would be engulfed in war. On April 27th, the Bosnian government attempted to halt the violence by ordering the JNA to be put under civilian control or expelled from the country. Prijedor would be overtaken by the Serbs on April 30th, but they were unsuccessful in cutting Sarajevo in two on May 2nd when they launched a disorganized attack on the city and were beat back by Green Berets and local gang members. Gang, gang. On May 3rd, Elijah Itzbegovic. I'm so sorry to my Bosnian listeners if I have any. It's so bad. The president of Bosnia was kidnapped at the Sarajevo airport by JNA forces and used for them to safely leave the city. However, their convoy was attacked by Bosnian forces, which pissed off every fucking body. On May 18th, a ceasefire and evacuation agreement had been signed, and on May 20th, the president declared the JNA as an occupation force. Now we get the Army Republika Srpska being established in place under the control of General Ratko Mladic. Sarajevo was once again shelled on May 24th, 26th, 28th, and 29th. A shelling on the 27th led to civilian deaths, leading to sanctions being imposed on May 30th through the United Nations Security Council Resolution 757. Good job to the United Nations, I guess. I don't know what the fuck they keep thinking these sanctions are going to do. Like, you hit them in the wallet. Okay, they have money. So, what does that actually do?
Right.
That's what kills me with like all the tariffs and shit that we got going on now. It ain't fucking affecting the companies or the
No.
people that you're pissed off at. It's affecting the rest of us.
Yep.
But you don't give a fuck. Bosnian forces continued to attack JNA barracks throughout the city, leading to retaliatory shelling. On June 5th and 6th, the last JNA fighters fled the city. However, a ceasefire was put in place on June 20th to allow the UN to take over the Sarajevo airport for humanitarian flights, but was broken by both sides as they battled for control of the area between the city and the airport. Across the globe, public opinion was fully against the Serbs following reports of the sniping of civilians and the shelling of Sarajevo. It was even reported that Bush, that's HW, was considering
Daddy
sending
Bush.
troops to Bosnia. Yeah, Big Daddy Bush,
Yeah,
not little Dum Dum Bush. Although I miss Bush, I miss him. I miss him so bad. Bring that dumb motherfucker back, please.
that's horrible to say,
But it's true.
but it's so
God
true.
damn. I would take Clinton. Like, I'll take fucking Reagan at this point. No,
Yeah,
because Reaganomics is why we're fucking here. Fuck Reagan,
this is
too.
true.
All right, anyways. Outside of Sarajevo, the war raged on during 1992 with varying levels of success for the Serbs. They were able to seize major cities along the Drina and Sava rivers and had pushed out their Muslim population within months. In May, a joint Bosnian Croatian offensive was able to push back Serbian advances in Posavina and central Bosnia. They continued south, besieging Doboj, cutting off Serbian forces in Bosnac Krajin from Serbia. In the middle of May, Srebrenik was retaken by Bosnian forces, and then they executed an ambush in the area of the Serbian forces that killed around 400. From May to August, Gorazde was besieged by the VRS until Bosnian forces broke the siege on September 1st. In April of 1992, the HVO entered Oraji and began a campaign of harassment towards Serbian civilians, including torture, rape, and murder.
Jeez.
On May 15th, a JNA column was ambushed in Tulsa, resulting in 52 soldiers dying and over 40 being wounded. This was a direct violation of an agreement that would give the JNA until the 19th to leave the country. Oh, good God. These people killing these people, these people killing these people, these people. I told you this one feels a lot like the book of Deuteronomy, I think,
Yeah,
where like Sarah begat Jacob, Jacob begat Elizabeth, Elizabeth begat John, and on and on and on and on.
sure.
I think that's how war works, though,
Yeah,
right? You got people attacking people, people retaliate for that to attack, and then it's just an ongoing cycle of retaliation.
yeah,
Unless, you're the US and then you just like to steal people's countries.
yeah.
When the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina became a member of the UN, the world was shown the camps where Bosniaks and Croats were held captive, tortured, and murdered by the JNA and the VRS. After the occupation of the Prijedor region, Muslims were rounded up and sent to camps to be tortured, where many died or just disappeared.
Jeez.
There were even camps where only women were held for the enjoyment of the soldiers. And that's the kind of thing where, like, my mind goes, Dear God, I hope she wasn't in one of those camps.
Right.
Like, I really, really hope she wasn't in one of those camps. Because I want to kill somebody for her. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, this shit makes me want to go find these people and be like, how dare you do that to my sweet Bosniak?
And people are like, well, why did they have to get out of their country? It's like, look at this shit, people. Like,
Because you could
you're
either
scared that you're gonna get
you either
captured and put
left
to a camp.
or you could get put into a camp, or you're going to have people paying to come over and hunt you like you're a fucking animal on the
Yeah.
safari.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's why people, become refugees.
This is why I can't say shit. I wanted to do this because this woman only works on Wednesdays. She comes in and volunteers on Wednesdays. She will buy $200 worth of stuff every week. And I'm like, she told me one time I left Bosnia with 3 bags. That's
Yeah.
all I had. And I'm like, okay, I need to learn more about what she went through so I can understand why she's like this. I told her this week, I said, girl, you buy everything in this damn store. You
Oh,
deserve the fucking world. Okay. After what you went through, because I wanted to warn her that I was doing this in case she came across it.
yeah.
And she was like, she almost started crying, just walked off. But I love her. She's sweet.
Yeah.
Bosniak and Croats also had their own camps where they kept Serbian prisoners, although they held significantly fewer prisoners than those ran by the Serbians. That does not mean they weren't just as horrible to their prisoners either. They were also known to have participated in rape and torture of their prisoners. Of the 700 prisoners that were held at one Bosnian controlled camp, 13 died while imprisoned. In June of 1992, Bosnian Serb forces attacked the village of Zepa, which led to a 3-year siege of the village. By this time, the number of displaced citizens from the war had reached over 2 million. By September, Croatia had taken over 335,000 refugees, mostly Bosnian citizens. Serbia took on over 250,000, while other former Yugoslavian republics took in around 150,000 refugees. Also in June, the Bosnian Serbs began Operation Corridor to open up a route for themselves between certain cities. They claimed they attempted to claim they were doing this after they heard of reports of infants dying at a nearby hospital due to a lack of bottled oxygen. But a high-ranking Serbian official, Borsav Jovic, claims that this report was propaganda. He stated that this particular hospital where the deaths were alleged to have occurred had 2 bottled oxygen plants in its immediate vicinity and were self-reliant on that resource. But that did not stop their operation, and they began their attacks on June 14th. In retaliation, on June 21st, Bosnian forces entered the Bosnian Serb village of Ratkovici and killed 24 civilians.
Hmm.
At the beginning of the war, the Bosnian and Croatian forces had a tentative relationship. With opposing commands controlling each army, it was difficult to coordinate them against the Serbian forces. An initial attempt to consolidate the forces failed in April of 1992, but in July the agreement on friendship and cooperation was signed, and in August the Bosnian presidency accepted the HVO as a part of Bosnian armed forces. Quick thought, every time I say HVO, all I can think of is
Folding bed sheets.
HVO up the road.
Yeah.
We have, like, I don't remember exactly what HVO stands for, like, Haywood County something opportunities, I think, but it's a
Haywood Vocational
that's
Opportunities.
what it is, Haywood Vocational Opportunities. It's a factory where they make, like, bed sheets and medical stuff, and it's, like, right down the road from my job.
Yeah.
So every time I say HVO, that's what I think of. But even with agreement in place, tension steadily rose over the course of the war. The first conflict between the two armies occurred in May, with 2 more following in June. After that, these armed conflicts became rather commonplace between the 2 forces, and that's the Bosnian and Croatian forces who were supposed to be fighting together against the Serbian forces. Now they're fighting each other.
Jeez.
In October, the infighting became worse when a conflict over a petrol station led to a gunfight in the town center on the 18th. Then on the 20th of October, HVO commander Ivanka Stojak was killed near Travnik. The same day as his murder, fighting broke out at a roadblock, which led to smaller conflicts throughout the area, with at least 50 people dying until a ceasefire was reached on the 21st. Then,
Damn.
sorry, what a weird burp. On October 29th, JC was captured by VRS forces. This happened even though both Bosnian and Croatian forces were there to defend the city, but they were too busy fighting each other to work together to protect the town. Literally fighting each other, and your fucking town gets captured because you can't stop fighting each other.
Right.
Gee.
Damn.
It's not like that feels familiar at all. So we're going to skip ahead a couple of months to January 8th, 1993, Orthodox Christmas Day. The village of Kravica was attacked by a unit of the ARBIH. 46 Serbians died in that attack. 35 were soldiers and 11 were civilians. And the ARBIH is Bosnian forces, I think. Yes. Yes. The next day, Ha Hakaja Turajilik, the prime minister of the ARBIH, was murdered after his convoy was attacked by Serbian forces. On the 16th, the Bosnian Serb village of Skelani was attacked by ARBIH forces. 185 people were wounded. 96 were murdered, 69 were murdered, including 6 children.
Mm.
While all of this is going on, the UN, the US, and the EC, or a European community, were proposing peace plans, which had little effect on the war as it was raging within the country. Because what the fuck do your goddamn peace plans? How are they actually going to affect the fucking war that's going on in the ground?
Right.
I don't know why this reminds me of like working at a place like where you work, where like the people in headquarters are making all these rules, but they have no idea what it's actually like to
Going on in
work
the
on the fucking floor.
yeah.
The first attempt was the Vance Owen peace plan that would decentralize the country and turn it into 10 autonomous provinces. Then, on February 22nd, 1993, the UN Security Council passed Resolution 808, quote, that an international tribunal shall be established for the prosecution of persons responsible for various violations of international humanitarian law, end quote. Gee, wish we could get a resolution.
That's good, but who's going to enforce them?
Yeah, well, it's a tribunal, so they would actually be bringing people in. I think the UN has their own police force. I actually really don't know.
They do.
Well, in May, the Vance Owen peace plan was rejected, and some people see the peace plan as one of the factors that escalated the Croat Bosnian conflict in central Bosnia. Back in March, the Security Council also passed Resolution 816, calling on member states to enforce a no fly zone over Bosnia. This was enforced with commencement of the NATO Operation Deny Flight on April 12th. Then on May 25th, the Security Council passed Resolution 827, formally establishing the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia.
All right.
Which again,
Just seen a picture here from it. It's like a piece of art or something. It just reminded me of Jim. Said, "Don't forget,
don't forget,
don't forget, Jim."
in July, representatives of the three warring factions came together for negotiations. These discussions were mediated by Thorvald Stoltenberg and David Owen.
Which that's probably close to where Jim was back then.
He was in Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah, he told me he used to like shoot um
grenades.
rockets into the side of mountains to make avalanches in the mountain ranges of Germany. And now he's a lovely flamboyant gay man. Love him.
For
Okay, but listen to this again. These discussions were mediated by Thorvald Stoltenberg and
Thor.
David Owen.
Did you say Thor?
Thorvald.
Thor of what?
Thorvald Stoltenberg.
All right.
That is, and then David Owen.
I think I'm gonna name my next D&D character that.
Thorvald Stoltenberg.
Thorvald Stollenberg.
It's a great name. No, Thorvald Rothrock. Done. From the UN, they revealed a map that would split Bosnia into three ethnic states, with Bosnian Serbs getting 52 of the percent of the territory, Muslims 30%, and Bosnian Croats 18%. This plan was rejected on August 29th. Much of 1993 would be dominated by the inner conflict known as the Croat-Bosniak War. The fighting broke out in January in Buskovaca in central Bosnia, but by the end of the month, a ceasefire had been put in place that would be held until April. Oh, God, excuse me, folks. If you ask the Croatians what ended the ceasefire, they would say the increase in Islamic policy from the Bosniaks. If you ask the Bosniaks, they will say it ended due to the Croatians' embrace of separatism. At the beginning of April, 4 members of the HVO and the HVO commander were taken captive. After a joint investigation by the HVO and the ARBIH in May, the HVO personnel were swapped in a prisoner exchange for POWs. Then on the 15th, there was an armed conflict in the area of Vitez Boshkovaca, which led to a forced removal of Croat civilians. In other areas of Boshkovaca, the HVO was able to hold onto control and forced out many Bosniak civilians, as well as taking several hostage. Over the Vitas area, limited HVO forces set about carrying out spoiling attacks or aims that or attacks that aim to disrupt a force that is getting ready for their own attack. So you spoil their attack before they get to attack.
Sure.
On April 16th, the HVO launched an attack on Hamiki east of Vitez. They were able to break through ARBIH forces and went into the village, going from house to house, killing civilians and setting homes on fire.
Jeez.
When more Croatian forces arrived, they killed any Bosniak who could not get away in time. In the end, 116 people died during what would become known as the Akmisi massacre. On April 25th, another ceasefire was put in place, and the chief of staff of each military began meeting regularly to try and resolve conflicts. However, it would take until April 30th for the ceasefire to go in effect on the ground. From central Bosnia, the fighting moved into northern Herzegovina on April 14th, when ARBIH attacked an HVO-held village outside of Konjic. In retaliation, the HVO captured three villages north of Jabloncija in the 16th, on the 16th in the village of Trusina, north of Jabloncija. HRBIH forces killed 15 Croatian civilians and 7 POWs. The battles of Konjic and Jabloncija went on until May, with the ARBIH taking control of both towns and nearby villages. In the southern city of Mostar, Croatian forces had seized control of the western part of the city, while Bosnian forces had control of the right. The Battle of Mostar began on May 9th, when both ends of the city came under artillery fire. This flowed out into the streets, with the HVO setting up POW camps near Cap Ligini and the ARBIH setting up camps in Potoki. Potoki. During the first week of June, ARBIH forces attacked the HVO headquarters in Travanik and HVO forces stationed against the VRS forces. After 3 days of fighting, the HVO were defeated and most of them fled into Serbian held areas as the routes to Croatian held areas were cut off. The ARBIH continued east where they secured the road to Zenica. Then on June 8th, 24 Croatian civilians and POWs were killed near the village of Bikoshi. On the 9th, the ARBIH attacked HVO forces stationed against the VRS in the town of Novi Travnik. This battle lasted until July, with the ARBIH taking control of the area northwest of the town, with the HVO holding control of the northeast in the town of Novi Travnik itself. Really, sis? It's like a tiny little ass box. You are spilling out on either side. It's cats, man. That's the reason why they're not allowed in the bedroom while we sleep.
Yep.
In mid-June, HVO forces were overrun in the town of Kakanaji, and around 13 to 15,000 Croatians fled to Kiseljak and Vares. In the area of Kiseljak, the HVO was able to defend their position in Kresivo, but lost control of Fojnica on July 3rd. On July 24th, the Battle of Zepik began, but ended just 6 days later on the 30th with the defeat of RB forces. I'm gonna start calling them RB forces. ARBIH.
Right.
RB. RB forces. I want some Arby's. Late in July, the RB seized control of Bogojino. leading to the exodus of 15,000 Croatian civilians. A prison camp was set up in the local football stadium, and at least 800 Croats were sent there. Beginning in September of 93, the Army launched their biggest operation to date, Operation Nerev, Ner, Neretva 93. On the night of the 8th and 9th, the Army carried out the Grabovica massacre, where they killed 13 Croat civilians. Then again, on the 14th, 29 Croat civilians and POWs were murdered in the Uzdal massacre. On October 23rd, 37 Bosniaks were killed by the HVO in the Sup- Supni massacre. The RB used this massacre as an excuse to attack Vares beginning in November. Vares was abandoned on November 3rd, and the RB entered the next day to find the area looted. And this is where we're going to stop the episode this week.
Okay.
Holy shit. There's 2 more
It's a
years of this
lot
war to get through.
of killing.
And it's I don't know, I struggle with episodes like this because it's very, like, factual, like, it's just a lot of this they killed these people, they killed these people, and these people were involved, and then these people were involved, and in my brain, it gets very confusing,
Sure.
but, like, these are the facts of the war, and people live through this,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I'm looking at the map of the place right now, and there's just, like, a bunch of these it they kinda look like states,
Yeah.
and there's, just, like, tons of them in the middle of this country, and I guess they're trying to fight both sides. The center part's trying to fight both sides, I'm imagining.
Well, I think that there's just both sides are in the center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's like the center is trying to pick a side. It's like they're just all commingled in together.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I don't know, but it's really crazy to hear about this. I've never really asked her. I would guess she's Bosniak, but I don't know for sure. She could be Croatian, she could be Serbian, but I think she's Bosniak.
Right.
Um, I don't know. It's a lot. When I sit here and I read through it, I don't really think about it, but when I stop and I actually, like, think about it, really, really think about what this must have been like to live through,
Yeah.
bitch, buy you $200 worth of shit, I don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever you gotta do that makes you feel better,
For sure.
'cause
It's it
this
just
is insane to have to live through.
it just shows you how important, like, accepting refugees into the country is. Like,
Yeah,
there was so many people fighting in that war that, like, it's really dangerous for civilians. You just never know which one's gonna come on your land and try to kill you. Like,
you don't.
3 different armies fighting each other. Like,
Yeah. I have a feeling this is probably why she joined the Peace Corps too,
yeah.
because she was in the Peace Corps for a long time.
Yeah, I'm sure when they seen the UN, they felt relieved, thank God somebody here to, like, try to make peace, like,
It takes
but
so long though,
yeah,
because 'cause we're right now at the end of 1993, and this goes on until 1995,
yeah,
and it's just like, okay. Makes you wonder, what is the UN actually fucking good for?
yeah,
If it takes you 2 more years to end a war, like, come on now. Alright, um, trying to think. We will be recording next week, so you will get this one after. I don't know if this is gonna be a two-parter or a three-parter. I'm gonna try and make it a two-parter. Um,
yeah, it's a pretty long war. It's one that has kinda been forgotten by Americans, but
well, and I mean, especially for our generation, I just
yeah,
don't remember hearing about it growing up. Like, I think
it's because America didn't hear about it a lot.
uh, I think our parents tried to shield us from it too a bit.
Sure,
Like, "Oh, they're kids, they don't need to see about this war going on in a country across like, in a country halfway across the world."
yeah,
And it's like, well, I kinda wish that I had known about it before I started making snarky comments to this woman about buying shit all the time,
Right.
so I could have been more mindful and, like, sympathetic to what she's been through.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's why I make it a point to let Patty see stuff because I want her to grow up to be a sympathetic person who
Sure.
goes, "Oh, shit, you're from Bosnia? God damn, it must have been hard growing up there,"
Yeah.
and just let people be who they are,
Sure.
you know? Because we all gotta have some and it's like people that get mad when people put up Christmas real early and stuff, and I get annoyed by it too, but also, like, let people have their joy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it brings them joy to have a Christmas tree up and lights up the day after Halloween,
Let them do it.
let them do it in this fucking world that we currently living in. Dear God, let them have their
Yeah.
Okay, Bill, thoughts?
It's crazy looking through some of the pictures. There's a lot of people that were affected by this war. It just makes me kind of sad that,
Like I said, she was 16.
all the kids that just didn't know what the hell was going on.
She was 16 when it
Crazy.
started. She was getting ready to go to a dance,
Yeah.
and her mom wakes her up and says, "We're at war." And she said, "What?" And then she heard bombs.
Yeah.
Like, I get
Crazy.
goosebumps just thinking about you just wake up and you just hear bombs dropping,
Right.
and we're doing this to children in Gaza right now
Yeah.
and in the Sudan and in other
I'm sure
places.
it's
We're
even
just
worse in Gaza, but not that you can compare war.
I mean,
Like,
war is
you
war.
can't
War is war.
really be like, "Oh, that was worse," because all of them heard the bombs, like,
Yeah, they all heard the bombs, and I hate to think that there's children she told me about that time that she was targeted by a sniper. She said she had an umbrella, which made her a target,
yeah,
and then she said they weren't even trying to shoot her. They were shooting at her feet to make her dance.
right,
They weren't there to kill people, they were there to have fun and to torture people,
right.
and then she said she hid in a corner for 3 hours, and every time she would try and put her foot out, they'd shoot at her.
Jesus.
So, yeah, I mean, we don't know what people have been through in their lives.
Yep.
So, what is it you always say at the end of our shows?
Be kind to each other.
Fucking be kind. Be fucking kind, okay? Imma make a shirt that says that. Be fucking kind. Get it.
Right.
Alright, guys. Thanks for joining us this week. Hope you have found this episode enlightening. I'm really angry right now because of this. This stuff makes me angry in my heart. I don't like my friends going through stuff like this, so well, we thank you for joining us this week, and we will see you guys next week.
Be kind to each other.
Love you, bye.
Love you guys. Bye.